Look at Ole Puddin. There you go. I don't know if it's a 3-speed or a 4-speed. Boy, them brakes work so good. Woo! And on the way back on that long ride, I decided to give that old gas pedal a good yeehaw. I mean, just whoop. And when I did, it said whoop, 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 whoop. And boy, it disappointed me. Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of RevStoration. My name is David. I go by Rev. Of course, I'm a full-time pastor and a fun-time restorer of this 1968 F100. If you've been watching the series of this revival, this old girl has come back to life. I think in the last video, maybe we were able to either wash her, I don't know which order they're going to come out, either wash her or actually get the brakes working to impeccable ability. They work as good as a new automobile now. Why? Because I virtually replaced everything on the brakes outside of the drums. So I've got all that done. In today's episode, we're going to dig into the engine a little bit. We're going to square some things up. Now remember, we've already done wires and distributor cap and button and spark plugs, so we've already done all of those things. So today we're just going to kind of square some things away. Now, I'm actually going to share with you in the first drive, you didn't see this, but in the first ride after the brakes got fixed, I actually had an issue. I'll tell you about it in just a second. Hey y'all, I want to inform you of an awesome way that you can bless our channel. Now, of course, as a full-time pastor and a fun-time restorer, if you want to call it that, I love working on Ole Puddin, and we've got other projects that we're going to be working on in the future. One of the ways that you can help this channel is watching, which, man, y'all have just really have blessed us and blessed me by watching these videos. We have 7 videos here on the tubes, and out of those 7 videos, 3 of those already have over 1,000 views. Now for me, wow, that's amazing. But guess what? There's only about 23 or maybe 24% of y'all are actually subbed to the channel. So let me let you in on a secret of YouTube. When you hit that subscribe button, it is absolutely free to you, but it immensely blesses me. Now, if you're stingy with your subscribes, hey, I understand it. Keep watching. I thank you very much. But if you really want to bless our channel, one of the ways that you can do that is subscribing. If you want to hit the bell, if you want to comment, man, that dialogue is awesome. But man, it is truly a blessing, and I would appreciate it if you would just go down to the bottom of the screen now, or maybe the little the little icon here on the corner of the video, and just hit that subscribe button. Boy, it would help out a bunch. We thank you in advance. All right, y'all, I took a ride. Wanted to make sure Ole Puddin had good brakes, and I took a ride from here about a quarter of a mile down the road to a gas station. I turned around and came back, and I videoed a little bit of that. You probably got to see it. I kind of got on it a little bit, and that's what you do, right? You don't want to just see if it'll drive. You want to see if it'll ride. So I got in it and gave it a little bit of gas and drove. It did okay. I drove down to a church that's just about maybe a quarter of a mile the other way. It did okay. I came back, tuning a little bit here, tuning a little bit there. I decided to take her for a long ride. And on the way back on that long ride, I decided to give that old gas pedal a good yeehaw. I mean, just whoop. And when I did, it said whoop, 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 whoop. And boy, it disappointed me. I just filled up the gas tank. I had not cleaned the gas tank out. It'd been sitting there for a long time. In the tank, it had pulled up some junk into the fuel filter. So I assumed that's what it was. Actually, Puddin put me on side of the road. So I replaced, took the fuel filter off, brought it back here to the house, cleaned it up, went back, still couldn't get it to crank. I'd rev the engine, get it running. Just as soon as I'd get it running, I'd go to give it gas and it'd cut off. And this was my issue. This is the fuel line that goes from the bottom of the gas tank. It comes through the body of the cab and it connects to the hard line. But watch this. You see this? Look how easy that is to crimp. When I was giving it gas, it crimped this thing shut, and what was happening is the fuel pump was holding that shut. So what did I do? Let's turn around here. I cut some of this off, I replaced it, and I've driven it twice, not a long distance, but I've driven it a little ways twice, and haven't had any issues. So I'm hoping that will be it. So today what I want to do is I want to remove this old hose here. It's a little long, so I'm going to try to get a shorter hose that, you know, it's not going, I mean, I hate how close that is, but I'm going to get a shorter hose kind of to make that angle there. I'm going to get some gas. I've got a gasket and a thermostat. I'm going to actually, you know, get this thermostat housing and all that off. Probably try to clean that up. I may see if I can find a thermostat housing that will fit it. I really want to see if this old fuel pump, or if the water pump works. I've not really gotten it hot enough for it to move in here. So I'm gonna do that today, hopefully, after I get all this done. What can I do? What can I do? Woo-hoo, for a Klondike bar. All right, y'all, I gotta go get some other stuff to get this off. All right, after I was able to move the distributor, man, it felt like somebody put that thing on with an impact wrench. And then of course you can see the sediment as all this sets up. Look at that. I mean, isn't that yummy? It looks like some ramen noodles have been put in there. I think I'm gonna need a new thermostat housing. What y'all think? All right, y'all, I'm getting a little bit closer to getting this thermostat housing off. Of course, just two 1/2 inch bolts. So but you only have a little bit of room to work with on the bottom one because it butts right up against the water pump housing. So takes a little bit of time to get this bottom screw off, and it's probably got some of this same powdery mess. So I mean, that housing is, boy, it's in really bad shape. Hopefully I can find one at the parts house. If not, it's not gonna be good. All right, she's dropping fluid already. Of course, it's gonna drain. This is gonna drain radiator fluid, coolant, I think is the right word for it. It's going to rain some of that down. All right, there we go. Well, not as bad as I thought. Look at there. It's not all that bad. It doesn't even look like maybe the gasket is in there. Yep, not as bad as I was anticipating. Of course, all that gummy goodness right there. So this needs to be replaced, no doubt. Yeah, but the housing there doesn't look as bad as I was anticipating. So like I say, this needs to be replaced, but outside of that, I think I'm good. We are in the Danger Ranger heading to the parts house. Now I want to let you know a frustration that I have in this project and any of the old car projects that I play around with is parts are not readily available at part stores. All right, I'll take back everything I said. I stopped at one parts house and they had everything I needed. All right, y'all, I got a thermostat housing, and the thermostat that I have that is new, and I have this newfangled type gasket. It's kind of an O-ring. You're not supposed to use a gasket with this. I'm gonna give her a try and see if she'll leak. But once again, Mr. Gasket fails me again because I purchased this and it's just chrome. I don't know about y'all. The only chrome on this truck is on the new badges that I bought and the mirrors, so it shouldn't be under the engine. So I'm actually going to prime this and spray this flat black. I'm gonna do that right now. While I'm waiting on the hose over there to dry, it's gonna take it 345 days, I'm sure. maybe 340, maybe a leap year, because I sprayed it without shaking it too well, and it put out the primer junk all over it. So I've got to get all that dry, but I've already installed, if you see here, I've already installed this half of the hose. You got to get the clamp on. I think that's going to be better and not crimping. We can get this. I got this hose here that I'm going to replace. I've got to get this one off and a new one installed. It's supposed to be cut to place, so it should have that little rookie cut there. So I'm going to get that off and get that ready to go. This is flat and good, so I may spray a little bit in both of those to make sure that's good. Porthole's good and solid, so I think we're well on our way. Make sure that you get in and clean up everything off of that. See, it's just sort of cleaning this. It cleans up everything off that port if you've got anything that may cause a water leak. So I always make sure I go through and clean that up as much as possible, so that whenever you put your gasket or your O-ring or whatever you're using, that it'll hold really, really well. You probably can't tell much difference, but that is actually a clean surface after I sanded it. So now when I bolt the O-ring up to it and the thermostat, everything's going to work exactly as it should. All right, what I'm doing here is getting way ahead of myself, because this still isn't dry. But see, there's the O-ring. The O-ring fits in a little slot. Then this, of course, you have to make sure the point, always remember the point goes towards the hose. So it goes in like that, and then when it bolts in, it's going to lock everything in. The thermostat should not be able to move. After everything gets in, it holds a water port. I've got the area here where I can do the little bypass hose, and then this hose goes to the top. So that is the plan. I'm going to get it bolted on right now. I don't care what anybody says, that right there is not, I mean, it is not going to leak. I just don't see possibility in that leaking. Anybody see a possibility in that leaking? Hope your answer is no, because that's what my answer is. All right, I don't know if you can see this. Well, I'm gonna pick you up, make sure you can see it. All right, I'm gonna pour here. Man, I'm good at hitting the hole. All right, I'm pouring that, and I'm gonna wait for it to come out down there. When I see fluid start coming out down there, then I know that all the air is out of the engine. There we go. Now I'm going to put that on. With that hose clamped back on, I can go on and fill this up with water, coolant. When everything gets full, I'll check for leaks, then I'll reset my timing and put everything back together and crank her up. Make sure the thermostat works. I don't know about y'all, but one of the worst things in the world that could ever happen when it's hot and sweaty outside is to step in a pile of something that stinks. Oh my goodness, I don't know what that animal ate. But I'm gonna try to crank the truck up. All the water ports and everything like that is ready. I just want to try to get it hot. I'm also going to take time. I adjusted my belts, tightened all the belts up. I'm going to adjust a little bit on the timing just by ear. Don't have my timing light out here. I'm gonna do it by ear, adjust on the carburetor a little bit while it's cool, and hopefully get her running. So let's see, get her running good. So let's see what'll happen. Wow. Let's see, I'm gonna go over with the timing just a tad. I'm gonna take this, give it a little more idle, just a little more, crank it up. She should be good to go, at least I hope. Oh my goodness, y'all hear that? All right, maybe it's still a little bit. All right, I'm gonna adjust on the carburetor a little bit and come back in just a second. I got you in the radiator. I hope you don't go over. All right, y'all, let's see if she'll crank up. Fire in the hole, turning the key, give her the thunder. Magic, baby, magic. But y'all, that looks good. All right, got the water port done. I'm gonna let it run until it gets hot. When it gets hot, hopefully we're gonna see the thermostat turn on. Woo! All right, y'all, here I am taking Puddin for a ride. Here she goes. Shifting through the gears fine. Come on, baby. I think she's already in third gear. So I hope so. The air conditioner works good. The vents in the floor, I mean. I'm telling you what. Woo! Uh-oh. She bogged down a little bit there, which ain't good. Maybe the timing's off just a tad. Just get me home, Puddin, just get me home. Deuces. And may God bless.